All right, YouTube, what's going on? We got a full body session and a Q&A that I run on my Instagram. So if you're interested in getting in on these Q&As, check me out on Instagram. That's what we're gonna be doing today. I have been training with a few people, so my split is a little messed up. So this is sort of a cleanup day. I'm gonna go and hit a full body session. I'll see you in there. So we're hitting a full body day today. I've been filming with a couple different people this week. So the split has been thrown off. So essentially what I'm gonna do for today is essentially just hit all the things that I've missed this week, including the thing that I had planned for the day, or the main thing that I had planned for the day, which was deadlift. So we're just gonna clean that up a bit and then hit like a full body session. So we're gonna do like a set of pec deck and then a little bit of pressing, arms, and then deadlift. So kind of a weird session, but that's what happens when you fuck your split up. These fucking AirPods never stay in my goddamn ears. Low volume and high intensity is the best for hypertrophy. I think lower volume than is traditionally programmed in most things is significantly better than the old style of like 4 sets of, 4 different exercises, just massive amounts of volume. But I wouldn't say low volume is the best. I would say typically when I look at a program, I go, yeah, it's way too much fucking volume. How many times per week to train for local comps? Do you think it's better to train less for local comps, or do you think that there's a threshold that you need to hit to be able to compete at a local level? I would say train as much as you can. I mean, you got to imagine what your opponent is doing. If he's going to treat it like this is his big thing to do, then I would be training as much as you can, whether you're competing at a local comp or not. I think the only thing you have to think about is, if you're obviously not trying to be a professional, is like, is it invasive to your lifestyle? If it is, then don't train that much. But I don't think there's like, 3 is good for a hobbyist, 4 is good for, moderate or competitor, 5 is good. Yeah, it's just like train as much as you can. Okay. Sure. All right. Did I do jiu-jitsu while I was in the Army? If so, are you worried about jiu-jitsu injuries during service? I didn't do jiu-jitsu until the last 3 or 4 months I was in the Army. I probably would have done it before that if I had known about it or, was into training at the time. But I just didn't. Am I worried about injuries from jiu-jitsu, like if I was doing it while I was in the Army? Honestly, I think the Army is equally as hard on your body. So yeah, I would say that you definitely have to balance it in terms of load management like anything else, Getting injured in jiu-jitsu, like tearing a meniscus or something while you're in the military and then you can't do your job is a pretty big deal. Okay. What was the one moment that hit you and made you decide to go to do content full time? I mean, I think like anybody else, if you're gonna go full time on something, it has to make you money. So when I started making good money on it, then that was the decision that'd be like, okay, does this make me more money than the alternatives? And if it does, then it is an intelligent decision. If not, if that's not where you're at in content, I wouldn't say quit your job and go all in content. So for the moment for me, it was like, okay, this is viable. And once I realized it was, I went all in, and it's, you know, paid off in the long run. Okay, let's move on. Okay, before I go into this actual shoulder press set, I'll knock out one or two questions. So, what is the limit to be using processed food as a source of energy and recover? Look, man, as long as you're hitting your macro, micro, and thus with the macros calorie goals, and you are healthy and feel good, it doesn't matter what food you eat, given that you are actually hitting those goals. That's probably going to look like eating mostly good foods, traditionally good foods. But once you hit, you know, your macros, once you know, hit the good amounts of healthy fats, once you hit your protein intake, you can eat processed foods. It's not like there's a limit. It's person dependent. Do you plan to compete in bodybuilding in the future or only jiu-jitsu? I do. I plan on competing in bodybuilding eventually. I'll probably have to step away from jiu-jitsu seriously for a while though, to put on the requisite muscle tissue, which also answers another question that somebody else had is, where did that go? Is it true that when you train jiu-jitsu, your muscle will grow slower? Any high intensity cardio that you do all the time is going to obviously interfere with how big you can possibly get, because those two things are not synergistic goals. It's not impossible to grow muscle when you're doing high intensity cardio, you know, combined lifting and jiu-jitsu, but you'll never be as optimal at just the hypertrophy aspect combined with high intensity cardio multiple times a week. Okay, I'm thinking, I did the 120s for 3. I'm a little fucking stiff today. I'm thinking I'm gonna drop down to the 110s and actually hit a real fucking set. Maybe 5, 6. That's what, 20 pounds less. So yeah, 6 I think is a good target for that. Okay, what lifting split would you recommend for somebody who trains jiu-jitsu 2 to 3 times a day? That's a lot, man. That is a lot. I would say, just like I give to any general recommendation, 2 times a week is a start. So, I mean, you're training a lot. I would start with 2 times a week. And you gotta be really intelligent with how you program, because that is a shitload of training. So I would start with 2, see if you can recover from that. Maybe 3 days, full body, just to spread the volume out a little bit more. But yeah, I would start with 2. That's a lot of training. Supersets. I think supersets are really good in a time crunch. You're still gonna carry that fatigue from the first set into the second one. So that's why I always recommend resting. And I'm talking about supersets, not drop sets, by the way. I'm talking about literally switching to a different exercise. You are going to carry some of that, you know, higher heart rate, out of breathness into the next set, which is going to detract from motor unit recruitment. So if you are in a time crunch, if you are, you know, can only have 30 minutes in the gym, then supersets, antagonistic muscle groups, good idea. Or I wouldn't say good idea, but that might be optimal. Top 10 exercises for grapplers. Man, I've covered this so many times, but I'll just say it again. There's no individual exercise. Push and pull, vertically and horizontally. Hinge, squat, rotate, do some spinal flexion for the abs. Throw some sprints, plows, and power movements in. That's your routine. That's not necessarily, there's not a specific exercise. What's up, brother? I think I'm gonna chase progression in this dumbbell seated press. I've been having a lot of fun with this. Okay, question time. Try to get through as many of these as possible during these rest sets. How many carbs per body weight? It's activity dependent. Obviously your body weight's gonna have a impact on that, but carbs are your energy source, so it's gonna be activity dependent, so I can't give you that. How do you recover from binge eating generally, though it's hard? I love your videos. Yeah, there's not necessarily something you can do to just counteract the effects of it. Just get back on track. When you binge eat, you shouldn't binge diet in the other direction. Just get back on track. The hardest, it's like building the habit is the hardest part. Once you're in a habit, I feel like it's fairly easy, not easy, but it's easier to stay on track. So if you do fall off the wagon, per se, and you're binge eating, get back on. Don't worry about counteracting it in an equally opposite reaction. All right. What kind of periodization do you prefer to use? I prefer to just progress till I can't, and then either, I wouldn't say take a full deload, like a week off, or like 5 RIR, but maybe 2, get back to it, or change the programming mesocycle up. Am I gonna be at CGI? No, I'm gonna be in Costa Rica. That was planned like a long time ago, so I didn't even know. What do you think of FRC, functional range conditioning, if you've ever heard about it? Never heard of it, but I will say this. If something slaps the label functional on it, I highly doubt its efficacy in anything functional. Okay, I'm taking these fucking AirPods and I'm putting them in the case because these have fallen out of my ears 18 times. So I'm not convinced on keeping these curls into the program, but I'm trying them out. I have been struggling lately with keeping on track on my program, not because of scheduling, in the sense of like, well, you talk about balancing jiu-jitsu and lifting, why you're not able to put it into your program. Really, it's like I work out with other people for content, and I do what they do because I'm nice. I'm like, yeah, what do you guys want to do today? Instead of like, this is what I have in my program and we're doing this. So I try to, I try to basically just do whatever workout they want to do rather than my own training, which sucks because obviously I love lifting by bringing my logbook into the gym, cranking my music up, and then just adding a rep or adding weight. And like, that's what I strive for, the progression. I love that style of training. But you can't do that if you're doing literally somebody else's plan, which I still love lifting. It's just not the same as being super hardcore like I like to do it. So right now I'm kind of just filling in the gaps. Like I said, this is like a full body day of just kind of everything I missed. My sternum's actually fucking bothering me right now. I think I slept wrong, so I don't know if deadlifts are gonna happen. We'll see. I feel like a fucking pussy right now, dude. Honestly, I'm sitting all day working. Office bullshit is what I'm doing right now. Okay, here we go. Your advice for starting grappling and lifting from scratch? Yeah, I would build up intolerance over time. So if you're doing both of those together, like literally starting them both, I would build up from like the lowest effective stimulus for both of those to more volume over time. So that might or probably should look like something like maybe 2 times a week lifting, 3 times jiu-jitsu. And then I would do that for 3 months. And then you can start moving both of those up. Starting them together is going to be very difficult. How many carbs, sorry, I answered that one already. Favorite type of steak? New York strip, for sure. Ribeye is too fatty for me. I'm not into the huge fat chunks in it. Can you make a video about tendon injuries in jiu-jitsu and lifting? Tendinitis is definitely a little different than an actual injury. If we're talking about a tear, I'm not a doctor, right? But dealing with like little aches and pains, I think is important to be able to load and program well around that. Bringing basically, if I'm getting a bunch of elbow pain, which I'm kind of going through right now, bringing like I said, the lowest effective stimulus all the way down. So that literally could look like 2 or 3 sets of triceps, direct tricep work a week, maybe even just 1. Something to just literally maintain while you're trying to give your elbows a break. And that kind of goes for every joint, every tendon there is, like sometimes that recipe is just literally rest, which is unfortunate and what not most people want to hear. But to be honest, taking a week or even 2 weeks off to like be fully healthy is so much better in the long run. And I feel like I'm talking to myself right now, but it's so much better in the long run than just dealing with a nagging injury for like 8 straight weeks. Like being 60% for 8 weeks and then going finally like 70, 80, 90, 100 back to like 12 weeks you're fully recovered, rather than just taking a week off when it just starts. I know it's not what people want to hear, but then you'll be back to 100% and back to training hard. In the long run, it's better, which I know, once again, not what people want to hear. There's not a magical formula, unfortunately. All right, this is fucking heavy. I got a couple more in me. I feel like those slow down way earlier, like farther away from failure than other exercises. Plan here, a couple reps of this. 5 is like what I'm estimating in my head. We'll see when I pick it up. I'll know if my first rep is dog shit. I'm not gonna push it today if this is ass, or if it's feeling like ass. Try not to fucking shit myself, dude. I gotta go take a poop after this. That felt like shit. All right, let's knock some of these questions out now that we've hit our deadlifts. I had to focus up for the deadlifts and my warm-ups. Feeling a little stiff today. So anyway, rib cage expansion. If you're talking about rib cage compression or expansion when you're bracing, then we can talk about that. So expansion in the sense of when you go to brace, you essentially don't want to flare your ribs up. If you're talking about the new like buzzword in hypertrophy, which is rib cage compression, which is the idea of essentially having that arch in the lower back, and that takes away from actually developing your chest. I don't know whether that's true or not, but that's sort of something that's kind of going around in the hypertrophy world right now. So I have a calisthenics program for jiu-jitsu, something I can do at home. I don't. I do have a home gym team, but I don't have a calisthenics only bodyweight program. How to train for conditioning. I actually have multiple videos on this. Check those out. I have 2 specific videos on just generalized how to do cardio for jiu-jitsu, and I also have an assault bike workout posted as well. Thoughts on hill sprints? They're great. Why not? Is it bad that I enjoy some super specific sport exercises? No, it's not bad. It's okay to sprinkle those into your training. I just don't think it should be a major portion. My friend doesn't grapple and he doesn't lift. Do I quit training or quit my friend? I don't know why he has to do either of those things for you guys to be friends. That's fucking weird. Why we as people don't just love each other? Why does there always have to be? Okay, this is a weird question. I'm not a guru about life. I just answer jiu-jitsu and lifting questions, man. Ankle and hip mobility. I think loaded seated calf raises, emphasizing that stretch position, actually develops ankle mobility. And then hip stuff is deep leg press or squats, and also some hip flexor stuff to actually hit that concentric portion, maybe even holding at the top. And then same thing, loading that flexion of the hip or the hip crease with, deep squats. What's your take on training for muscular endurance as a wrestler? Train your sport hard, get conditioned. That'll take care of itself. Don't worry about doing hundreds of push-ups for muscular endurance. Your advice, I already did the lifting and jiu-jitsu or grappling from scratch. Do I smoke weed? No. It does not align with my goals, and honestly, I don't like it. Favorite kettlebell exercise? The doorstop. What are we on battery here? 16? I think we're good. Okay. Here we go. My knees actually feel pretty fucking good today, surprisingly, which is odd because my sternum feels like dog shit. It's always 2 steps forward, or 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Or 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I think it's the same analogy. Okay, here we go. Enough yapping. I think I'm close to getting back to squatting for real. The knees are feeling fucking way better right now. What did we do today? This is our cleanup full body session. So what did we do? We did a little bit of chest, some shoulder pressing, a little bit of arms, hinge squat, not squat, but you get the point. It's a squat pattern, I could say. I think that was it. I don't think I'm missing anything major that I've missed this week from filming with people, so I think this will be my last exercise. Usually I have this planned out better, obviously, with the real programming, but like I said, times are tough out here. So I'm gonna finish this up, do some posing, get the fuck out of here, get some food. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna see if there's any more questions left. I kind of posted the poll late. I was already literally in the middle of my workout since I posted that poll. All right, top 5 supplements. Protein, whey protein, creatine, some sort of pre-workout that is got ingredients that are actually efficacious, things like L-citrulline. So I guess that'd be 3, caffeine 4, and then 5, I don't know, magnesium. Honestly, you could just say electrolytes for the 5th one. Starting jiu-jitsu, overweight at 32 years old. Could I one day become competitive? Yes. I think, be realistic, you're starting at 32. Are you going to be a ADCC trials winner? Unlikely. But you can get really fucking good. Absolutely. Do you think strength has a chance of outweighing technicality? Only in egregious circumstances of strength discrepancy. Right? If you get Eddie Hall to grapple a lightweight black belt, it's not going to go well for them. Will I be participating in trials this ADCC season? I would love to. It depends on all the other things I have going on. I am slammed on work right now, so it is a little bit tough to time manage. I'm barely training right now in jiu-jitsu. I would love to be training more, but I'm going through a growth period of scaling a bunch of things up with the business. So once I get my schedule more locked in, we'll see. I'm extremely competitive, and I hate losing, and I'll always be a competitor at heart. It's been tough for me to step a bit back from that, but at the end of the day, what matters the most is setting myself up for success in the future, not wearing a shiny medal around my neck. All right, that is the workout. Let's get some posing. All right, let's see if this pump is still existent from the workout. Got my mini mic. All right, let's run through a few poses here. I'm starting the cut, so we're gonna start getting pretty lean. I know a lot of people might look at me and go, dude, you're already lean, what are you doing? I wanna get lean, like freaky lean. Because that always sets you up or potentiates the best amount of growth. When you get really lean, you have the most potential for growth for a bunch of reasons. You're super insulin sensitive, your body's ready to put on tissue. But number 3 is you have the most room for growth in the sense of you're not gonna get too fat. If you're like 8%, you can push all the way to 15 versus you start a bulk or some sort of mass gain phase or eating even a main gain at 14, 13% body fat. You only have so much fat to gain before it's like, okay, it's time to cut again. Now, I'm not saying bulking is the best method these days. I'm just saying you have the most room for growth when you get really lean.